Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Archangels and Ascended Masters, for the perfect grace, perfect clarity, and perfect peace that's here for each of us right now. Thank you to the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity, for wonderful clarity, for perfect peace, and for wonderful joy. And we celebrate this moment with great clarity. We celebrate this moment by recognizing all the good that is here and celebrating all the good that is here. And we take this moment to treasure the independence that we do have, the free will that we do have. We allow ourselves to see, feel, and experience this free will like it's the very first time, like the sun coming out for the first time. So if we could just take in a breath, and if we could, with great love, great affection, and great care, say our own names out loud. I am Mark. I'm so grateful to have free will. I'm so grateful for the next moment to be filled with love. I'm so grateful for this moment to be filled with peace. I'm so grateful to be right here, right now. Wonderful. If we could breathe in, and if we could feel a chain of affirmations. So if we could feel every affirmation you've ever said, which is perhaps thousands and thousands of affirmations, all the positive affirmations, if we could feel those being said perpetually, constantly being said. And if we could allow our focus right now, right where you are, to include the goddess Kuan Yin, who's coming forward perhaps a bit on your left with a whole lot of red. So if we could notice red fabric, perhaps red paint, and this luxurious shade of red, if we could just breathe in elegant red. And if we could notice her, very simply noticing what Kuan Yin does with the red in relationship with you, perhaps wrapping it around you, perhaps painting a surface, perhaps just introducing that color and letting you play with that color. If we could just breathe into you and red and the goddess of compassion. And if we could notice in this moment any symbology of red equating with anger, if we could perhaps take a moment to acknowledge any anger, we've spoken about this in recent times, of the anger of having your life interrupted for a year, the anger of what all that's meant, anything that's gone away, anger at yourself for any reason. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge that. And if we could say out loud in a joyful way, I acknowledge my anger. I choose not to live in my anger. I forgive myself for everything right now. I forgive everyone for everything right now. I ask for forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness for everything right now. I choose to be free right now. I let everyone off the hook for everything right now. I am free. Wonderful. Whatever it means to you, if we could feel Kuan Yin having swallowed or taken in through her mouth everything you just said, and it with her voice repeating it, talking about you. Patricia chooses, Mindy chooses, Meg chooses, Bernie chooses. Audrey chooses to be free. Marie chooses to be free. Aida chooses to be free. If we could just notice that happening. Jonathan chooses to be free. Doll chooses to be free. Lizelle chooses to be free. Rachel chooses to be free. Janine chooses to be free. Suzanne chooses to be free. Shannon chooses to be free. If we could just breathe into all that. And if we could notice, perhaps in taking a moment to notice the contrast of space and matter, if we could just take a moment in the space that you're in, just to notice physical things, the device you're using, what you're sitting on, walls, clothing, and just taking a moment to notice those things. And let's indeed have our Eckhart Tolle moment of noticing the space in between you and those things, the space between you and your device, the space between you and the wall, the space between you and Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin herself. If we could just breathe in. And with the immediacy of the present moment, not urgency, but immediacy, if we could very simply say out loud, I'm surrounded by love. Thank you, Kuan Yin, for surrounding me with 1,000 feet of unconditional love. Thank you, Kuan Yin, for surrounding me with 1,000 feet of unconditional love. So if we could notice with grace, two things happening at once. The angels wanting to get in on the action and promote more peace. So if we could feel the angels showing up in huge numbers, if we could feel also with our request with Kuan Yin, your heart opening up, and from the core of your heart, let's let endless unconditional love move forward, perhaps away from you for 1,000 feet, which is likely bigger than the structure that you're in, perhaps going across the street, moving through all inhabitants or co-inhabitants or neighbors of structures near you or that you're in, cars, birds, trees, yourself, your cat. If we could feel that expanse. And as always with this action, if we could notice what it's like to choose your environment as opposed to react to your environment. Wonderful. Let's just take in a breath. And let's indeed notice with conscious thought what it's like to allow ourselves to enter a deeper space of love and appreciation. So let's perhaps say out loud, I release all stress. Everything is okay, including me. And to the angels who have rushed forward to get on the positive action happening here, if we could say out loud to the angels, hi, thank you for being with me. And to the angels as a group, if we can ask them, what would you like me to know? And let's indeed just notice what they communicate. Wonderful. We'll just breathe in. And let's indeed notice, perhaps with some reverence, like curating an art gallery or a museum. Let's notice how Kuan Yin and the angels that are here curate the atmosphere that surrounds you right now. So they're adding to the 1,000 feet of unconditional love that your voice requested. So let's notice what they add to the atmosphere. And if we include ourselves in the atmosphere, let's notice what they add to you. Let's perhaps come back to our intentions. Anything that you mentioned, let's let them help. Awakening to new dreams and letting angels help with those dreams. Allowing there to be flow with existing dreams. Allowing the angels in Kuan Yin to uplift you, to uplift and refresh your energy. To allow with expert grace for the angels in Kuan Yin to cleanse and clear your chakras front and back, top and bottom. To feel the space to move forward fearlessly and joyfully. To notice that as we move forward, the angels are not only right with us, but they precede us. And we could allow good after good after good to happen. And if we could notice like a perfectly clean window and fresh air, if we can notice clarity being present with you right now, right now, right now. And if we could, this is the angel's request, drop out of, well, when I do this, then there'll be clarity. Let's release the conditionality and let's just take in a breath. And if we could say out loud, I welcome clarity right now. I am clear right now. Great. So let's just indeed breathe in like it's our first breath. And let's indeed just notice once again, let's notice the space and the matter right around you, right where you are. Let's notice that the space contains a whole lot of angels, the color red, and Kuan Yin. And if we could feel the potency, the joy, and the power of our own free will. And if we could just lovingly say out loud, I'm fully alive right now. I'm so thrilled to be alive right now. And to say their words, I shake off the blues. I shake off the pandemic blues, and I choose to be free right now. Wonderful. So let's indeed notice that red, which was initially introduced perhaps on the left side. Let's notice that red now being on the right as well. And if we can notice the prevailing theme of freedom and free will being part of every single cell or existing in every single cell in your body, existing in the space around you, existing tomorrow and today. Let's just feel the goodness of that free will and all the love that is here. So we'll just breathe into all that. Wonderful. We'll just breathe in and we'll just breathe in. And let's feel all the sensations that are happening on a cellular level, the peace in your consciousness, the peace in your emotional world, the peace in your energetic body. Let's allow that peace to come even more fully into your muscles, into your nervous system, into everything physical. And let's indeed, perhaps opening the closet of the heart, and let's indeed unburden ourselves of any pain stored in our heart, even big pain. And let's notice, like inviting friends to take something from your house in a positive way, like giving them a house plant. Let's very simply hand off your pain in your heart, stored in your heart, to the eager angels that are here to help you out. Let's hand over the big pain. And perhaps there's a casualness around that. And the casualness comes from knowing that it's angels who are helping you out and they're really good at what they do. And if we could feel, this may sound a little weird, but they're not going to judge you for your pain. They're going to honor the pain and make it better. They're going to honor what happens, what has happened, and make it better. So if we could just take in a breath and be that one little thing or the whole contents, 20% of it, 10%, half, whatever. Let's very simply notice there being movement here and it being okay for things to change. So, indeed, be it one thing or a thousand things, if we can notice Archangel Michael with great joy instilling in the storage area of your heart a new light. So, all of that pain is illuminated all the time, which doesn't mean it's active all the time, but there's a light there that's not in the dark. And if we can notice him removing the door. So, if we could just feel for everything that's happened, we've all had lots of stuff happen in the decades of life. Let's very simply feel, rather than things being locked away or hidden away, that there's flow. And in that flow, there's freedom. And as we integrate goodness into our life, free will even more greatly into our life, and as we garner wisdom from the pain that we've experienced and from seeing what works and what doesn't, and as we allow ourselves a greater capacity of leadership and freedom in our own lives, within our own lives, using our free will, talking about what we want, feeling great. If we could just say out loud and put that into action now, and if we could say out loud, I choose to live a fantastic life. I am living a fantastic life. I love my life. I love myself. I love doing what I want every single day. I love the total freedom that exists within my life. I say yes to good. embrace every aspect of myself. I choose to not despair about despair. I welcome greater freedom into every single moment. Thank you. Wonderful. So if we could just take in a breath. Kuan Yin is chiming in, and she's asking us to reflect on just the last 20 minutes. If we could just take in a breath and feel the freedom that has been not introduced, but we've been reminded of, we put that freedom into action. So if we could just breathe in this present moment to that 1,000 feet of unconditional love. If we could breathe into the presence of Kuan Yin and this bunch of angels who really want to be with you, as does Kuan Yin. And if we could feel the freedom and the joy of you choosing to be here, you choosing to engage, and the angels and guides being right here for you. There being no distance and no despair, just great connection. So if we could feel the immediacy of all these things. And if we could feel also the angels helping, and if we could let them help with something right now, if we could let them help us to any way, shape, or form in which we feel worn down by bad news, worn down by limitation, worn down by decades of different patterns, let's very simply help or allow the angels to help any feeling of being worn down with fresh energy, perhaps the angelic equivalent of a new set of tires with great traction, the angelic equivalent of you having great independence, not carrying the energy of other people all the time. So if we could let the angels refresh and cleanse and clear your energy field right now. If we could feel the viability of you as a human being, and you getting to do what you want, when you want, creating great art, writing great words, smiling, being present, including yourself in the good, sharing good like you're doing right now, and participating in the future of humanity. If we could feel all that goodness. And if we could feel in response to every single thing that's just said and any thought that's occurred, any surrender that's happened, any spark of goodness felt in cells, if we could feel Kuan Yin acknowledging and feeling all that and participating, we could feel Archangel Michael and the whole huge gang of angels that are here acknowledging that and participating in that. And with sincerity and truth, if we could very simply say out loud to Kuan Yin and the angels, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with me right now. Thank you. And we'll say to refresh, thank you, Kuan Yin and the angels, for surrounding me with 1,000 feet of unconditional love. Thank you for pouring unconditional love into this moment and every moment of this day. Thank you for all the peace and love that is here. Thank you for the goodness present in my life. Thank you for encouraging me. I choose to also encourage myself. I am always doing my best. I give myself a break. I take a breath and I keep going. Thank you, angels, for always being with me. Thank you, Kuan Yin, for the compassion present in my life. Thank you. Fantastic. If we could notice that color red going everywhere where it's needed, and if that's a trillion spaces, fantastic. If we can notice that red going to hospital rooms, that red going to battlefields, that red going to hospitals, that red going exactly where it needs to be, that red going to roses, that red going to blood. We could feel the red being a source of life, a reminder of the vividness of life, and having great vitality to it, within it, and around it. Just notice the red going everywhere where it needs to be. And if we could just witness that, sitting right where you are, just witness that. The brilliance of the angels, the brilliance of this goddess, Kuan Yin, the brilliance of your free will. And let's say out loud, all of my needs are met. All of my needs are met and exceeded. Thank you, angels, for meeting the needs. Thank you, angels, for meeting the needs of all beings and having all beings' needs met and exceeded. Thank you. Wonderful. If we could just take in a breath. Kuan Yin is asking, before we conclude, she's asking for one-on-one time with you. If we could just breathe in, you and Kuan Yin. And her question for you is, did we cover everything? Is there anything you want to add? Wonderful. If we could just say out loud to Kuan Yin, to the angels, and to all of life in the color red, thank you. And to all of them, we'll say out loud, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you. And using our free will again, like it's the first time, let's say out loud, I choose to have a fantastic day. I honor myself and others by having a fantastic day. Thank you. And with honor for everyone, mothers, fathers, animals, Mother Earth, the sky, the air, the plants, art, consciousness, change, clarity, intuition, and life. We thank the presence of Mother, Father, God, and all the archangels and ascended masters. We thank as well the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this moment of clarity, this moment of peace, this moment of love and this moment of joy. We celebrate infinite abundance, perfect health. We celebrate positive advancement, positive change, and the celebration of life. We honor everything and everyone, including ourselves, and we allow positive changes to happen. We feel unburdened in this moment. We feel excited and emboldened. We allow the highest good to happen. And we see things being done with simplicity, ease, and joyful surprise. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is.